Welcome, Scorpio. This is Regina from Pacific Tarot, getting ready to do your new moon in Pisces reading. The new moon's on the 10th of March, and the next day, Venus moves into the exalted Pisces. And we describe Venus as being exalted because it expresses itself more fully in the sign of Pisces, the sign of one love, the sign of the greater interconnectedness of all things, the recognition of the divine spark in everything and every species, every plant, every creature is about affirming our connection, our reliance upon everything that exists for our existence. And this is about the elevation of our experience to a complete conscious awareness of the source of love, love as the source of all existence. So I am doing personal readings at this time. The information for that is in the description box below. I am giving away a free reading on or about the first of every month, and I pick winners for that from the comments and the donations that I previously received. So thank you all for participating in that, all of you who do, and moreover, I appreciate all of you who are present now here and all the ways that you support me in whatever ways that you do. I feel it, and I thank you in advance for that. So Scorpio, your overall energy for the new moon in Pisces is the sun. This is about your authenticity and is particularly relevant because the area of your life that is being impacted by the new moon in Pisces is the area of your creativity, the natural house of the sun. This can aspect children, certainly your own inner child. This is about being who you are and finding maximum joy, illumination, and providing that same warmth to others as a verification of the sacredness of the abundance on the planet and of your natural talents and gifts, the work that it does in the world by providing joy, illumination, and happiness for others. In the 10th house, your social position, this is also the way that others see you. There is a challenge that I believe you may be experiencing in your work, perhaps in your traditional field of endeavor. This can be a challenge to your authority or control over your life, but there's a way in which you are changing a sense of your own adequacy, competence, or feeling that you have enough of what you need to do what you want to do. And this is over and against some conventional wisdom, perhaps an authority figure at your work or in your life. Perhaps it's an older patriarchal figure in your life. It doesn't necessarily have to be a man to be an agent of patriarchy. However, you are aware, hyper aware, that the only footing that this authority can have, power that this authority can have over you, is in your buying into the sense of not being quite enough, not having quite enough, not knowing quite enough. And this is something that you are resisting, the resistance to you as being significant, because you're aware that your consciousness about your having enoughness, being competent, being equal to whatever task you set out, whatever your goal is, whatever your position is what is the bottom line here. That's what is resists the resistance. So in a way, my sense is that you're ignoring this. You're understanding that part of changing this is not giving it the credence, the energy, the thoughts, or the words, the retorts, or sarcasm that you may have felt or experienced in the past. Instead, you're letting this go. You're realizing if support doesn't exist for you here, then you can get it somewhere else. You have faith in your ideas. You know your ideas are worthy, and you're holding on to that as being who you are, that you do know enough, and that you can get assistance in other places. In the first house, we have the Six of Swords, which is describing your perspective. And it's so interesting that I sense you moving away from a familiar setting, a familiar environment. This can be looking for a place in the world that accommodates your desire to grow, to build something, to express yourself fully and wholly. This can also be about abandoning a place where there is constant chaos, challenges, a sense of invisibility, difficulty being seen or heard, wherever that is. The moving away is more about the theoretical space where you encounter this sense of imbalance, this sense of invisibility, rather than to or from a place. You're looking for peace. You're looking for acceptance of the existence of these forces in your life. And finding that acceptance allows you to surrender these energies in your life. The fourth house is the house of your history, your family, your soul, even your roots. The Hangman finds you in a place of surrender, of pause, of retreat, of pulling back from many of the conditions or the perspective that you've always internalized as a result of this feeling of inadequacy that you may have harbored, you may have engendered as a part of your family system, whatever that was. Holding yourself back, marginalizing yourself has provided you with this opportunity to shift and grow your perspective, recognizing that by looking at things differently, you have an opportunity to take advantage of opportunities that you may not have understood existed. It is what you've gained that you may be evaluating negatively, as opposed to accepting that as the content, the narrative that you are seeking to give voice to, if that makes sense. In the seventh house, the house of your significant others, we have the Ten of Wands. What a tremendous sense of unburdening yourself I'm really getting from this. And in a way, I'm almost feeling like you've stripped back layers and peeled back the onion skin of your conditions in life that have contained the sense of joyousness and celebration, of illumination, of joy, happiness in who you are, without apology. And this, again, is emphasizing a tremendous change that you are endeavoring. These changes you seek to make, these influences you seek to release, and the changes, the release of obligations and responsibilities that you no longer see as in alignment with where you're going, what you need to express your story. I'm going to pull a Soul's Journey card and ask Scorpio if you're resonating with this to please like this video, share this with others, comment below, and subscribe to my channel, Pacific Tarot. I appreciate all of you that are subscribers, that do participate in all the ways that you can to support me. I'm deeply appreciative. And I've pulled empathy. I'm open to seeing both sides of a situation. This is very relevant to your domestic conditions, the conditions around your family, your upbringing perhaps. And from the flora and fauna of Africa, I pulled the praying mantis. And the plant associated with that is the stone crop plant, a beautiful sedum. And the key word is tranquility. Be still. Take time to regroup so you can perform at your best. With patience, success will happen just in time. Powerful theme here, patience, taking your time. The Six of Swords in the first house is clarified by the Three of Pentacles in the second house and the Strength card in the third house. And I have been really picking up on this sense of your specialness in particularly the family system you grew up with. And that force that you gain from an ancestor, no matter how different you were from that ancestor, is part of what you are accepting as your resolve, as your peace. This strength of character, this ability to love, to be compassionate despite the superficial differences or tension that exists in your family. But you're working towards building something that is excellent, something that is long-lasting, something of long-term value, something out of your strengths and talents that will generate the kind of abundance that will sustain you in this ongoing effort to create with other like-minded individuals. The Hanged Man in the fourth house is clarified by the Knight of Pentacles in the fifth house and the Death card in the sixth house. You are planning the steps, you're exploring, you're discovering ways in which you can concretize this illumination of who you are in a way that's productive and creative. You're doing it as part of a team, but you're looking at connections you may not have been able to incorporate before into your plans, into this particular project. Again, the idea that you're experiencing a real rebirth in the way that you work with others is really supported by the change that you're desiring to make in your relations with others, in the way that you are providing yourself the safety and security to be able to be vulnerable in the service of your expression. The Ten of Wands in the seventh house is clarified by the Ten of Pentacles in the eighth house and the Hanged Man, a repeat in the ninth house. I just got a lot. This is another 10, and the 10s really are reiterating the major transformation you're making in your life. You are, again, becoming part of an almost mythical tradition of legacy, of inheritance. You are contributing to a heritage of expansion, of abundance. You recognize that how much you gain from the efforts of others. And those others are not simply the people in our lives, the ancestors who came before us. They're also the cultural and historical figures, as an example, that have influenced us, that have influenced our sense of entitlement, empowerment in the world. So there's coming in to this particular reading is a sense of a myth. This journey you're on actually has a mythic dimension to it. And that's why I attribute some of the benefits that you've accrued, that you appreciate, some of the privileges you've appreciated in your life, and that you recognize you can give back in a way, is because of this sense of mythic proportion to your expression. You may be influenced by the myths. You may have a particular myth that is emblematic for you of your current efforts. The Hanged Man, again repeated here, is about your ability to integrate all of the information you've gained, all the resources at your command. There is a richness in terms of not only your family of origin, but your lineage, your ancestry, that requires a new level of processing, a new level of standing back from whatever traditional role you've taken in the family or in your environment, to reconsider that at a scale, or making that process available to others. So again, there's an energy of you teaching or you sharing what you've learned with others in some setting. The 5 of Swords in the 10th house is clarified by the 2 of Pentacles in the 11th house and the 10 of Cups, the third 10, in your 12th house. So the 10s again is this complete change, or some would call it a leveling up. So naturally, as we experience complete a journey, 10s represent endings, conclusions, closure. As we complete a journey, we move on to another journey that hopefully incorporates and integrates all the things that we've learned thus far. And you are experiencing a new generation of the idea of abundance, as well as the idea of sharing resources, sharing your emotions, your vulnerability. Empathy clearly is key to this process, but a sense that you have created safety and protection in not necessarily a physical place, but in a community that allows for the vulnerability, the story or narrative of overcoming challenges to be experienced. And in some way, some larger social way, you are working through this process with others to incorporate the past into the future. And your story is at the fulcrum here. So there's a way, this is part of the project I suspect you're working on, where you are working with others to craft not only something beautiful, excellent, and elegant, but something that is useful, something that is practical, something that you elevate the value of something for others. I'm going to finish up this reading, Scorpio, with a crystal oracle. And again, let you know how much I appreciate your comments. or whatever way that you support me is truly appreciated. But I would love to hear some of your thoughts. I've pulled the rose quartz, and the key word here is self-love. I approve myself and love myself deeply and completely. Thank you so much, Scorpio, for this beautiful reading. Until next time, namaste.